Yo, what's good, people? Izzy Max here, back again for another VGC Draft League match. Last week, we didn't have a match. Our opponent ended up forfeiting. Again, going through some live stuff. I think I said that in my last randomized video. But we do have an opponent today, and this is the 6 that I'm going to bring. Real quick, I'm going to talk about what 6 I think he's going to bring. His team is very Trick Room centric, with a G-Max Lapras as his main offensive threat. And the 6 I think he's going to bring is the Lapras, Alcremie, Oranguru, Darmanitan, Arcanine, and Bronzong. So those are the 6 I actually prep for. He does have 2 Trick Room setters and the Alcremie Lapras kind of get up with the Arcanine and the Darmanitan in the back for some offensive pressure. So that's what I prepped for this week. If you can't tell on the screen, this is kind of a trolly Ferrothorn. My team has trouble, if it's like an AV or super bulky Lapras, my team actually has trouble killing it. So this Ferrothorn is here once the Arcanine and the Darmanitan, if they get brought, go down. My Ferrothorn kind of just sits there and be super annoying, super bulky, and just spreads Toxic and Leech Seed and just kind of stays on the field. Next up, we have our tried and true offensive threat, the Gallade. This is no speed. This is for if he sets up Trick Room, we can actually underspeed the Arcanine, so we would move first. And this is just the random Assault Vest with Close Combat, Knockoff, Leaf Blade, and Rock Slide. Next up, his sidekick, the Persian, Beat Up, Fake Out, Snarl, Parting Shot, the normal set. Next, we're actually bringing Silvally Water. This is so the Darmanitan, the Arcanine, and the Lapras also don't hit this mon for super effective. We were going to bring Silvally Rock for more offensive pressure, but we found out we kind of died to the Bronzong. So this is just multi-attack Water, Crunch, Iron Head, and Protect. Next up, this is our Trick Room Stopper. Bronzong also gets Ally Switch. So in order to stop all of that, this is a 0-attack Claydol with Trick Room, Imprison, Protect, and Ally Switch. This is to stop all the shenanigans that he's planning on doing, and stopping Protect so our read game doesn't have to be super hard. And then lastly, this is a weakness policy, Infiltrator, Dragapult. It is 1 speed slower than Persian, just in case we needed to proc the weakness policy ourselves with Beat Up. This is max special attack, Fire Blast, Shadow Ball, Thunder, and Hydro Pump. So I know we're running 3 moves that are super accuracy dependent, but if he sets up the Rain, Thunder is just going to be 100% against the Lapras and going to do huge damage if we can get the weakness policy procced. So that's going to be our team. Hopefully we counted the 6 that he's going to bring correctly, and I will see you in the game. Alright, so we're back in the game. As always, I do these post-commentaries, so the game's already done. I know what happens. I'm just going to break down my play. And yeah, so let's just jump right into it. The 6 that he's going to bring, we almost called 100%. He actually ends up leaving off the Darmanitan in favor of the Lunatone, which was actually really surprising, because a Scarf Darmanitan or a Focus Sash Darmanitan kind of just destroys our entire team. That is the Alolan form, of course. So looking at this, I was kind of wondering what Lunatone does other than be his 3rd Trick Room setter. I don't really care about Rock types or Psychic types because we do have the Dragapult and the Persian, as well with the Ferrothorn and the Gallade. So Lunatone not doing too much. We also do have Water Silvally, so I'm not going to be too worried about it. I'm expecting a Trick Room lead. He might lead... I was figuring he would lead either double Trick Room with the Bronzong or Oranguru, or he actually ends up leading the Lapras Alcremie. He actually ended up leading the first one, which would be the Bronzong and Oranguru. So I knew he wanted to set up Trick Room, and I didn't really care. As weird as that sounded, Trick Room was not super threatening to me because I do have the super annoying Ferrothorn in the back. So here I am just going to go for the normal combo that my team always goes for, and that is the Beat Up combo. If it wasn't an Oranguru, who is usually immune to flinches, I would have just fake outed the Oranguru and attacked the Bronzong a couple times. But I thought, no, a +4 Max Darkness should kill the Oranguru. I'm not going to be too terribly worried about it. And in hindsight, it actually lives due to a super low roll, which was kind of unfortunate. He messaged me while the game was happening. He said he literally lived on 1 HP. I'm going to skip through some of this once I get my thumbnail and thumbnail. Okay. Because this takes a while, you know, the beat up stuff. We ended up critting ourselves twice, but here he actually goes for the Iron Defense on Bronzong, which in hindsight's terrifying, but I do have Dragapult in the back. And after I seen that, I knew it was the Iron Defense Body Press set. So now I'm thinking, who cares? I'm not threatened by this Bronzong because it can't hit my Dragapult. And my Dragapult this week is super bulky. It has no speed. It's max HP, max special attack. So I know I can live a Gyro Ball or whatever it wants to throw at me at least once. And then return back, kill it with a Shadow Ball because it is physically defensive. As you'll see here, this Snarl, oh, after he instructs. So now he is literally at max defense, +6 from the Iron Defenses. And like I said, not too worried about it, knowing what I have in the back. Although it will destroy my Ferrothorn if I put it in. But here, I'm just going to go for the Max Darkness onto the Bronzong, get some damage off because I know the Snarl is going to end up killing the Oranguru. So I didn't want to waste an attack. But seeing it, since this is going to be spread damage, I should have just killed the Oranguru because this might have actually killed the Bronzong if it wasn't spread. That did so much damage, and this is a non-invested Persian, which again led me to know that that was super physically offensive on the with the Bronzong. We do see the lefties here. I'm not worried about it. It's gonna kill something on the field, but then I can just switch into another offensive mon and just continue to go from there. He ends up bringing out the Arcanine, and based on what I have on my team, I'm gonna guess and say he was expecting to actually be faster in Trick Room, because he is probably running a mint speed Arcanine, but I ended up running a mint speed Gallade this week. So I am just gonna, I believe I Snarl again, and then I'm just gonna Rock Fall, kill the Arcanine. Arcanine's a threat to my Ferrothorn, and my Ferrothorn completely walls a Lapras. So that was kind of my thinking here, and honestly, that's what ends up happening. Actually, Bronzong does end up killing the Persian, which, who cares? Watching it now, I was thinking about hard switching into Dragapult, but I wasn't for sure if he was actually going to start to try to target my Gallade. And I needed my Gallade, but switching would have been the right play. Didn't matter. Persian wasn't really doing anything useful anyway anymore. As much as I love this Persian, it's really only here to beat up the Gallade and to get the Gallade moving. But anyway, we max Rock Slide into the Arcanine, killing it. Of course, I wasn't expecting that not to kill. We are at +3 now because of the Intimidate. And this is where the game actually starts to get kind of interesting, because now he is in favor with the max, and it's going to probably be his Lapras. So I'm going to keep the Ferrothorn in the back. I need this Bronzong dead before I go into Ferrothorn. And it does end up actually being the Lapras. So here, in my thinking, I'm going to shrink down. He's going to G-max his Lapras, so he's going to get the screens up. But I'm Infiltrator, so I don't care about the screens. I need to live a hit from Lapras. Like I said, we are max HP. But that's it. That's the only bulk we have on the Dragapult this week. And I need to knock off this Lapras right here, because if it's Assault Vest, my Dragapult won't do much damage. If it's Weakness Policy, I need it gone because Dragapult could die. And then if it's Light Clay, whatever, he's going to get his screens up. I didn't expect it to be Light Clay this week. He kind of needed his Lapras to be offensive. But this was more of just a middle ground. I need information for the following games, because one wrong move and I could screw up. And luckily our Gallade actually ended up living that hit, which was surprising. And what's more surprising is Dragapult actually ends up living this hit as well. And I think both of my Mons are on identical healths. So he does end up setting the Aurora Veil due to the G-Max Resonance. Dragapult's Weakness Policy procs, which didn't matter in the long shot because this guaranteed killed the Bronzong anyway. And we just get a knockoff, and we do reveal that this Lapras is Weakness Policy. So that is big information moving into Game 2. Kind of terrifying information. But we do end up knocking the Bronzong out with the Shadow Ball. And what's funny here is this is his last turn of Trick Room. My Gallade's at 6. My Dragapult, I think, is at, like, yeah, 19. But he doesn't know that. He doesn't know which Mon's actually higher. But both Mons can kill this Lapras. So he has to kind of pick his poison. He probably picked right because it's more often or not the Gallade is going to have a super effective move and not so much a Lapras. Or not so much the Dragapult. Since all he's seen was Shadow Ball, he could just think this is a normal special set. Usually the special sets don't carry Thunder, Fire Blast, and Hydro Pump, but he just set the rain for me. So this Thunder was such a smart bring on this Dragapult because now it's 100% accurate and is doing that much. +2 Thunder to a G-Max Lapras is doing almost half, which is insane. Here I do just bring up my Ferrothorn. And I was actually thinking to myself, do I just want to protect so I don't show the moveset on my Ferrothorn? But I'm like, no, Ferrothorn's slow. This Thunder is guaranteed going to kill. And if he protects, whatever, Ferrothorns usually show Leech Seed anyway. So it's not a huge deal that I show, that I would have shown the move. But he does end up canceling. So I'm going to fast forward into the next game. We end up leading and bringing the same 6. Nothing changes. And here we do the same thing where we max and go for the beat-ups. So I'm going to go ahead and fast forward that because nobody wants to see that. I do believe that's the last one. We didn't crit ourselves this time after the 2 crits in Game 1. And we ended up, we ended up getting the high roll on a Ranguru. I know I mentioned that in Game 1. But yeah, it lived on 1. Game 1, we got a higher roll in Game 2, so a Ranguru goes down. So he doesn't have Trick Room here. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I know this is Weakness Policy. Let's get a Snarl off because I have no way of knocking off the Weakness Policy because I know he's going to max. I was expecting max Decorate. But I'm like, okay, let's just get as much damage off as possible. Hit a Snarl to where it's only +1 when the Dragapult comes out. And I can just kill it. Trick Room's not up. I don't really have anything that is slower than these 2 Mons other than Ferrothorn. But with my luck, the Snarl here actually ends up missing the Lapras, which I thought was going to be huge because I am knuckling into this Lapras. Granted, we are +4. I'm not expecting this to kill. So this is going to put me actually in a really, really bad spot. But hindsight's 20/20, and Gallade is a freaking monster, and it ends up killing the Lapras with the Max Knuckle. Wasn't even a crit. This is how strong Gallade, Justified Gallade, is at +4. It kills a Max Lapras with a 90 base power move, and that's just insane. He does end up Draining Kissing the Persian, which does a lot. Alcremie is decently strong. It was a crit. We do eat our berry here, and I am actually in a race to keep or to gain the #1 spot just based on differential. Me and the guy who are fighting for it haven't played yet, but we are fighting with differential. Technically, the differential doesn't matter in this league. It's based on tiebreakers, like who versus who, based on the end with the record. But I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna save differential. This is the actual draft league player in me. Differential could make or break a season. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to save. He doesn't have a move to actually hit the Ferrothorn, which was a good move. He does end up bringing the Lunatone out. He said that was his secret weapon. Probably just a joke, but it was funny nonetheless seeing a Lunatone in a VGC match. But it does just go down here to the max darkness. And we did make a good play because that would have killed the Persian in all reality. But he just Draining Kisses the Ferrothorn, and it does absolutely nothing. And surprisingly, that's a contact move, which was kind of funny. because I always thought Draining Kiss was special, but it's whatever. He ends up canceling here. Of course, we would have completely won. He doesn't really have anything to answer the last couple mons that I have, and we ended up getting a 4-0 in the second match. So that's going to do it for this week. We are still rolling, other than the one mishap a couple weeks ago. The team is still performing very, very well, and I don't expect us... With this win, the lowest we can get is actually second. So with that being said, the league is whatever, it's going to happen. If I finish first, if I finish second, it's whatever. I still have to play the person who's tied with me. So that's ultimately what's going to decide it. And yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, please do be sure to leave a like, comment down below. I don't know, just comment something. It helps the YouTube algorithm. It helps me gain subscribers. We're almost to 100 subs, and I would appreciate if we could do that by the end of, I don't know, next couple months. But yeah, without further ado, peace.